charged with trying to deal with this Tennessee lineup that leads the SEC in about a dozen categories, starting with Christian Moore, the DH. The freshman from Brooklyn leading things off for the Volunteers as they go for the sweep, something that has not happened to this Vanderbilt team going back to 2018. Bouncer to the left side, it's Davis Diaz. First chance of the day, one out. Well, this lineup for Tennessee, we talked about just how impressive this group has been. They lead the SEC in batting average at .327, first in 12 offensive categories, including home runs. Trey Lipscomb's been right in the middle of it. One of those last night, a double, a triple, a home run, 3 runs scored, and 4 RBIs among his 4 hits in this series. This is Luke Lipsius. He homered in the game back on Friday night. And he takes a fastball for a strike. Lipsius at .284, 7 home runs. 17 driven in for the senior. Been around this program a long time and really been a big part of their rise, not only in the SEC, but also nationally.
Yeah, one of the older players on the team, and just such a good job right in the middle of that order, going back to Friday. After the controversy in the first inning, home run to right field, and has a couple words for the umpires and Vandy as well. But definitely a way to get a team fired up. Tennessee kind of awoke the sleeping giant there early in the game on Friday, and they've ridden that out Friday, Saturday, and going for the sweep here.
Yeah, did his own bat inspection as he came across home plate. 2-ball, 2-strike count as Riley tries to make it 2 for 2. Big bouncer to the right side. That's Gavin Casas at first base. A nice delivery to the covering Riley. 3-1 on the putout. Couple bounce outs for Riley to start the day. Vanderbilt defensively, 9th in the SEC in fielding percentage, and Dominic Keegan's really done a nice job behind the plate. Has thrown out 12 would-be base stealers. That's 2nd in the SEC. Vanderbilt as a team has. That outfield speedy group with Vaz, Bradfield, and Jones. Notice Tate Colwick is not in the lineup today. Jonathan Vastine, the freshman, getting the start at second base. Maybe 3 bounce outs. Vastine throws to first to wrap up a quick. Drew Beam can continue that today. Their Chase Dolander was outstanding last night. Bradfield takes a breaking pitch for ball 1. Sophomore from Hialeah, Florida. Guy can really set the table and has shown some power as well this season.
Yeah, and if you're Vandy, I mean, you kind of got knocked in the jaw the past couple of games back on Friday and then last night. You got to set the tone early and try and get some base runners aboard and get the bats rolling. Try and kind of strike first blood. It's going to start with this guy, Enrique Bradfield. If it's going to happen, it's going to do it with him.
2-ball, 1-strike count. Beam trying to go backdoor. This one popped up short left field. Going out, Lawson coming in. Scott a few steps, makes the catch, 1 out. Well, defensively for Tennessee, they are 7th in the conference in fielding percentage at .978. They play good defense in this series so far. You see this group. Scott saw him a moment ago. Gilbert and Beck. Lipscomb, Lawson, Ortega, Lipsius around the infield with Evan Russell behind the plate. Tied for 8th in double plays with 14 on the season. The 9th most errors in the SEC with 22 on the year. Only 1 in this series. Pitch outside, ball 1 to Davis Diaz, the talented Commodore freshman third baseman out of Pittsburgh, California. Top 5 in this Vanderbilt lineup, all over 300 on the season. Diaz among them. 2 balls and no strikes. He is looking for his first hit of this series. 0 for 4 in each of the first 2 games. Did have an RBI back in game 1 on Friday.
Yeah, being a freshman hitting there in that 2 spot, it's tough. I mean, you go through the beginning of the season and you play some non-conference games and you get in the SEC and you face guys like Beam that are 94, 95, and everybody they roll out there has some serious stuff. I mean, it's definitely eye-opening. You got to really make some quick adjustments, and I think Davis Diaz has the ability to do that, but looking for his first hit here this weekend.
Beam able to throw a strike with a fastball on 3-0. 3-1 pitch to Diaz. Runs it full, fouled out of play. Pretty good series last weekend at South Carolina, but Vanderbilt, as we mentioned, dropped the last two of that series, the first two of this one, so a rare four-game losing streak in SEC play for the Commodores. Payoff pitch. Diaz out of play one more time.
Yeah, mentioned Beam does have that good fastball. He's also got a really good breaking ball that he'll use to the right-handers. Got a good changeup as well, but really going to attack and try and get you out with the elevated fastball.
Payoff. Do it again. It feels like it's important for Vanderbilt to do just this, especially in the early innings. Try to stack up some pitches against a guy who's just been so effective, especially in his first couple SEC starts.
Yeah, Beam, like Burns and Dollander we saw yesterday, like to get ahead early, and it's a nice pitch there in the bottom corner. 94, right on the ankles. So inside part of the plate.
Fastball gets Diaz looking, so Bradfield retired on a fly ball, and Diaz, after jumping ahead in the count 3-0, Beam battles back to strike it out. Now we'll pitch to Spencer Jones. He homered last night, the junior from Encinitas, California. 2 for 7 in this series, has struck out 3 times. 1 for 3 last night, 1 for 4 in game 1 back on Friday. Been really impressed the way this guy has swung the bat. A big strike zone, but a line drive hitter. Takes a slider for a strike. Both these pitchers trying to sit him down in order. Bounce to the right side. This might do it. Ortega charging the flip to first. 3 up, 3 down for the Commodores in their half of the opening frame. So both pitchers off to a good start. Something that does not happen very often. Vanderbilt being swept, and much less being swept at home. Tennessee with 18 consecutive wins. That is a school record after the 5-2 victory last night. Here's Drew Gilbert to start off the Volunteers second. Fouled out of play. Gilbert coming in 1 for 6 in this series. 1 for 3 at the run scored and a stolen base in last night's game. He had been swinging the bat awfully well entering this week with a 16-game hit streak before going 0 for 3 in game 1 of this series. Leading the way with a .456 batting average. Bounced over to first. Nice play by Casas. Going to make the flip as Riley gets over to cover. 1 out. Riley with the, for as many strikeouts and flyouts as we see, it's been 4 bounce outs so far.
Very true there, Kevin. Really keeping the ball low and just pumping strikes, getting a lot of balls hammered down into the turf. And he doesn't have a good amount of sink on his fastball, so you get a lot of that swing right over the top of the ball. But Riley making himself extend himself a little bit more. I know we've only seen a couple of innings from him, but really making that defense work behind him.
Really pitched well last week at South Carolina. Now faces one of the hottest hitters in the league in Trey Lipscomb. The Maryland native, the senior, 4 for 7 in this series, driven in 4 runs, had 3 hits last night, including a double and a home run. RBI triple and 2 runs scored in game 1. This one pulled foul. Well, back to game 2. Here is Lipscomb leaving the yard. Tennessee has done some damage in the middle innings. They did it last night. That was a swing that really broke the game open for Tennessee.
Yeah, it's just like every single pitch as a pitcher, if you miss it up in the zone or miss your spot, I mean, has an opportunity to leave the yard with a lot of these guys in this lineup. So you definitely got to be careful where you're putting that ball. And Kevin, I mean, looking at the stats and the kind of the leaders throughout the country and throughout the SEC, you kind of do a double take with Tennessee and how many categories they're leading in. The home runs definitely leading in, and A lot of different categories, averages wild. A fastball up in the zone there from Riley.
His first strikeout of the day as he fans Lipscomb for the second out of the second. Here's Evan Russell, the Tennessee catcher. He is 0 for 6 in this series. Went 0 for 4 last night with a couple strikeouts. 2 walks in game 1, 0 for 2. Number 6 batter, a senior from Lexington, Tennessee. They've added some young guys to the mix, but a lot of older veteran players on this Tennessee team, and they have been super impressive. Only 1 loss entering today's play. Inning 2 with 2 outs. They play Russell pretty much straight up. And Riley delivers a strike to make it 2-1.
That's 96, but Riley's such a big dude. Makes it look easy. Ball has a good amount of arm side run as well. That ball is coming in there with some big time cheese.
Russell, big rip, just got a piece of it, 2-2. As Riley tries to go 6 up, 6 down. Russell aired it out on this swing. Ooh, and got a piece of the umpire too.
It about came out of his shoes. Home plate umpire Clint Lawson took it in the face, but Tom Keegan, the catcher, gave him a little extra time to shake it off.
2-2 in inning number 2. Tried to hit the outside corner with a slider, couldn't do it. The count runs full.
Yeah, not a bad spot. Tried to get him to chase, just a little bit off.
Keegan tried to help him out a little bit. Now a payoff. Lifted foul right side. We'll do it again on 3-2. Another guy had been swinging the bat well. Entered the series with hits in 4 straight games and 10 out of 11. Vanderbilt's been able to keep him relatively quiet over the first 2 games. Another payoff due from Riley to Russell. High for ball 4. First base runner is the Tennessee catcher. Reaches on a 2-out walk. Jarrell Ortega will come to the plate.
A nice little battle there. Fouled off a couple pitches, but Riley, that one looks like just got away from him a little bit, but still has 2 outs. But that's how you get deep in that bullpen. You get those 2-out walks and work on there. And Riley a tall order here.
You see Ortega's numbers on the season, just short of 300. 4 home runs, 17 RBIs. You look up and down this batting order for Tennessee. Multiple home runs for pretty much everybody. Runner at first, Ortega swinging first pitch. 1 for 7 in this series. That hit was back on Friday night. He's had a walk in each of the first 2 games, scored 2 runs last night. Deep and straight away all around the outfield as Riley gets ready for a 1-strike pitch. Out of the stretch for the first time today. 1-1. You see Riley checking that wristband, the electronic system to deliver the pitch calls. Vanderbilt using for the first time this year. Short lead at first for Russell. Riley comes to the plate, misses high, 2-1. Getting the start today. We had wondered what Tim Corbin would do in terms of a Game 3 starter. Riley getting the ball in a big spot here for Vanderbilt. Popped up, right side, short right field. Jones, a few steps toward the line.
All the way to the end. I mean, we talked a lot about the stats offensively, but the pitcher's really, really good as well.
Safe at first, Keegan. And a bouncer to short. Lawson made the play and made the delivery over to first. We've seen multiple plays like this reviewed in this series, but this one will not be examined again. And Dominic Keegan has the first hit of the day, an infield single.
Yeah, it looks like got in on the hands a little bit into the 6-hole. Lawson puts it over there just a hair just in time.
Gavin Casas is the hitter after Keegan records his third hit of the series. He's had one in each game so far. It took Vanderbilt deep into the game last night to even record a base runner. The leadoff man on here in the second for Casas. Couldn't hold up, and a slider down and in.
And for a staff that has had such good success that Tennessee has, and as an offense, you're trying to just kind of get them out of their rhythm, getting a base runner on, get them in the stretch. Definitely opportunity there.
Left-handed batting Casas, sophomore out of Pembroke Pines, Florida. Looking for his first hit of the series. Throw gets Keegan back. 0 for 7 in the series with 4 strikeouts. 0 for 3 last night. We have seen him have some stretches in this season where he's really swung the bat well, getting the opportunity in this series against Tennessee. No score, inning 2. Just missed inside, 1-1 to Casas.
Yeah, good looking slider there down in the zone. Doesn't chase. Casas for coming in, having a lot more playing time this year. Really does a good job of noticing where the ball is.
Roller to short. They get the out at second, safe at first. Not hit hard enough to get a double play for Tennessee. Keegan retired at second. Casas replaces him at first on the fielder's choice.
I mentioned the pitch recognition from Casas, but these Tennessee pitchers have a lot of movement on the ball. That one goes inside on the hands. Aren't able to turn the double play, but as a hitter, you kind of recognize pitches, and then by the time you start your swing, that ball has come in on your hands a little bit more than when you thought it was going to be. I noticed that a lot on Friday. I was actually able to sit down pretty close to the field and seeing, a number of guys on this Tennessee staff, like the amount of movement on the ball is pretty astounding. I mean, you can see it a little bit on the screen, but until you sit down there in person, like right behind, you can really see just how difficult it is to pick up the ball and then also, put some good swings on it. And I think that's why Vandy has not really been able to, get a huge rally going, because, if they do get a hold of one or get one in the gap, Tennessee's able to go right back in there, and it's very limited mistakes.
2-ball, no strike count to sophomore Jack Bulger in the DH role today. You see him switch in and out of the catching role, typically the middle game of a weekend series. The same thing we said for Casas, looking for his first hit this weekend set against Tennessee. 0 for 7 coming in. Tennessee pitching, hitting, and everything else has just been outstanding. Vanderbilt trying to break through with a win in this Sunday game. Bouncer over to short, a little harder hit. They get the out at second, the throw to first, a double play, 6-4-3. Casas a little slow getting up out at second base. Looks to be okay. Tennessee gets a double play ball to get out of the second. Commodores have the first hit. We played 2, no score. Vanderbilt first baseman Gavin Casas a little slow getting up at the end of that last inning. Tennessee turned a 6-4-3 double play. Hendros watches slide at second base, and this ball hit by Jack Bulger.
Yeah, it looks like he slid right past the bag. And take a look at his left foot as we get another angle here. His left foot goes past the bag and sticks in the turf, jams up underneath him, and looks like it hurt himself a little bit, but he's back out there.
8-9-1 for Tennessee, and inning number 3, Christian Scott, Cortland Lawson, and then back to the top for Christian Moore against Patrick Riley, who has allowed 1 base runner so far, and that was a 2-out walk to Evan Russell in the last inning. Scott coming into today's play, having not recorded an at-bat in this series until now. He played in left field last night, did not play in game 1. 2 balls and a strike. Diaz in a couple steps at third. Pitch didn't miss by a whole lot, 3-1. I think Riley,
Yeah, I thought it was.
thought that was a strike. We're pretty good. Hitters count for Scott. Came up empty on the fastball at 95. Payoff misses, ball 4. Tennessee has a leadoff man on here in the third, as Scott draws the second walk issued by Patrick Riley. There's what he did last week in relief. He was terrific in that game in Columbia. 14 strikeouts, 4 hits and a couple walks in 5 2/3.
You know, I talked to pitching coach Scott Brown before the season, was asking him specifically about Riley, and he said, got to find a spot for him somewhere. Just doesn't really know where that is right now. Most likely, beginning of the season, going to be kind of a piggyback guy, and I think we've seen that. But also kind of aligned him to like a Walker Buehler type, who back in 2013 was a piggyback guy early in the season. By the end of the season, worked himself into a starting role, and I think kind of what we're seeing here as well with Riley.
Throws to first to get Scott back. He's 2 for 3 in steal attempts on the season. We're a Tennessee team that, like a lot of categories in the SEC, leads in stolen bases. And I think for Vanderbilt, too, defensively today, you just want to see things a little more solid. There have been plays in each of the first 2 games that sometimes they aren't necessarily errors, just plays that should be made or maybe made in a different way. And strike the count, another throw to first.
Yeah, more than anything, Kevin, if you don't make those plays, they might not have a huge impact. They did have an impact back on Friday with the lights. I mean, I think about 3 runs scored because of those plays, but when you don't make plays that should be made, it just kind of deflates your sails, and it takes the momentum out of your pitcher as well. So if you can just make the plays behind them, kind of keeps you rolling.
First hit of the day for Tennessee from the number 9 hitter, Cortland Lawson. Lines a single to center. The Volunteers starting to get things going here in inning number 3. Back to the top for Christian Moore with 2 aboard.
Looked like that ball, not a bad pitch. Actually thought it was going to be up in the zone, but ended up being a good pitch. Just a nice job throwing it right back up the middle. Good piece of hitting there by Lawson.
Yeah, think about that first inning last night where a ball gets loose from the catcher and you have a chance to get an out at second base. You see the runner coming home. Instead of taking the tag at second base, the inning would have been over. And trying to make sure the run doesn't score. Moore out in front of that one. He's 0 for 1. A bounce out to third to start the game. Tennessee with runners at first and second. Nobody out. And a scoreless game in the third.
I will say 1 through 9, this Tennessee lineup, it takes some hacks. I mean, they get their money's worth when they go up there. I think that's probably why they lead the country in home runs, but taking some big old swings.
They do not get cheated, that is for sure.
A good looking slider there by Riley. And with teams that do swing the bat well, you got runners in scoring position. Going to see a lot of that off speed here from Riley.
Moore second on the team with 8 home runs. Riley just trying to get a first out. Checks a runner. Keegan keeps in front of him and keeps the runners where they are, 1 and 2. Try to get him to chase away on an 0-2 pitch.
A nice block there by Keegan.
Infield looking for a double play ball. Riley would be just fine with a strikeout. Looks back at second. The Seagirt, New Jersey native, Patrick Riley. 1-2 pitch. 2 and 2.
Missed it just a little bit low. And not missing by much. Do think it was a ball, but Riley still around the plate. Got a 2-2 here with runners in scoring position. See if he tries to get him chase away.
To the right side, Casas will just take it to the base and get the sure out. The runners move up 90 feet on the bounce out by Moore. 1 out, but now 2 in scoring position for Luke Lipsius.
Well executed pitch and nice job by Moore just getting the ball over to the right side, moving the runners up. A nice job by Casas just taking the easy out. Now Tennessee ball in the gap or ball in the outfield gets them on run on the board.
Lipsius has shown power in this series. Home run on Friday night. He's hit 7 of them on the season. Down and in with a breaking pitch to start off this visit. Top 15 in slugging and an on-base percentage in the SEC, and 4th in walks with 25.
And you got to think Lipsius is not going to see much straight stuff here.
Lawson at second, Scott at third. Tennessee the first real threat of the day for either side. Pitching the dirt 1-1.
A heavy shift over there on the right side. You've got Young, the shortstop, on the right side of second base. Vastine, the second baseman, well into right field. Good depth from Casas, the first baseman.
In the outfield, about as deep as it gets. This one down the left field line, but will slice foul into the Vanderbilt bullpen. 1-2.
And he went 2 sliders, and the first fastball Lipsius sees, he takes a hack at. It was kind of up in his eyes, but good opportunity here for Riley. They come back with the slider again.
Trying to make a pitch. Lipsius trying to get Tennessee on the board. Swung on and missed. A big strikeout recorded by Riley for the second out of the third. 2 men still in scoring position.
Well, you can go with the fastball if you have the movement that he does. I mean, take a look. The arm side run, it's like the last couple of feet just goes right off the end of the bat of Lipsius. It's a tough pitch, especially as a left-hander.
Boy, that one just disappeared. Here's Jordan Beck. Ground out to second, his first time up, 0 for 1. It is tough to deal with really any part of this Tennessee batting order, especially this middle part with guys in scoring position. Beck takes a strike. 3:33 entering today's play.
You talk about momentum swings. If Vandy can get out of this, a huge opportunity to go in there and get some runs. Tennessee can tack on a couple. They can kind of take the wind out of the sail. So a big opportunity here for both teams.
Riley jumps in front, 0-2. Back with 3 hits in the series, including a couple doubles, 2 hits last night. As Andrew said, a chance for momentum for both sides in this spot. Early game battle. Riley to Beck. Runners at second and third. Poked out of play.
Riley went with a good slider. A nice job by Beck just trying to foul it off. He does have a base open, but got him down to 0-2. Probably going to go after him here. See if he uses that good fastball.
Riley to the plate. Fouled again.
At 96 there on the gun. Riley consistently 94 to 96 today with the fastball. Got to be pretty early on the swing to catch up with that thing, and then you got to deal with the slider. So, especially with 2 strikes, got to find a way to get a bat on it some way. Easier said than done, though.
Yep. 0-2 again. Well, Beck was a big part of their College World Series team last year. Preseason All-American entering 2022. Joe Drove in 64 runs. That was third in the SEC in 2021. Chance to bring in two with a base hit here in the third. 0-2 from Riley to the right side. It's Casas. Great work by Riley after Tennessee. Some tickets more expensive than others. Here's Javier Vaz to begin the Vanderbilt third. Inside for ball one. Senior from Huntsville. Guy became a really valuable part of this program last season, especially late in the year. Sends it out of play 1-1. 0 for 3 in game 2 last night after 2 hits in the opener. Had 2 walks in game 1 and scored a run. Vanderbilt had the leadoff man on last inning, but that's a foul ball. As Vaz made a bid at extra bases, 1-2. Beam has faced the minimum through the first 2. Vanderbilt had Keegan on with an infield hit, but a double play ball got Tennessee out of any further difficulty. See that ball right down the right field line. Missed by a whole lot. 1-2 pitch to Vaz. Slider stays away.
You know, if you're this Vandy offense, you got to find a way to at least put something on the board here. You had Riley did a good job of leaving runners on second and third last inning, and pitcher's doing a good job out there. So you got to find a way to just get something on the board, get some sort of offensive production going. But it's been tough for Vandy all weekend. String a long run of offense together. We've seen a couple solo home runs yesterday, but not really 1 through 9 guys making some serious headway.
Vaz continues to foul off pitches. Vanderbilt has not led in this series, and Tennessee has not trailed since March 13th. They haven't trailed in any of their games since March 13th against Rhode Island. They were behind 1-0 in the first of that game. That covers 10 full games and entering today's play 107 innings.
It's pretty amazing. I mean,
yeah, somebody's going to score a run in the first or something. You know?
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing so well, I mean, you expect to win and you expect to be leading all the time. So if you want to put some pressure on them, you got to score some runs.
Charging Lawson on the bouncer by Vaz after a long battle. Vaz is retired 6-3. Fouled off a few pitches. Lawson made the play. Here's Jonathan Vastine, the second baseman. The freshman from Bartow, Florida, his first start in this series. Okay, they feel like it's a pretty versatile player. We saw him as the opening day first baseman. And for Tate Kolwick today, Tate not in the lineup. A little playing time here and there. First start since the series out in Hawaii. That was about a month ago. A check swing and a foul ball, 1-1.
Vastine very much like Diaz. Freshman, but can play a lot of different positions.
Beam trying to hit the outside corner of the breaking pitch. 2 balls and a strike. Third baseman in a few steps. Vastine takes strike 2. So Lipscomb come in, now backs off. See the defense, little room in right center. The left-handed batter. Back up the middle, another chance for Lawson. Scoops, throws out Vastine. A little trouble at first maybe getting the grip, but 2 bounce outs to the shortstop, and now Carter Young will be the hitter. Well, the switch hitting Commodore shortstop. Gone 1 for 5 in this series. Bat was back on Friday night when he drove in a run. 0 for 2 last night. 284, 4 home runs, just short of 20 RBIs on the year. He got up to a great start in SEC play a couple weekends ago against Missouri. Had 4 hits in the opener. Took His batting average up 45 points. Takes a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, Young definitely has the opportunity to get on some hot streaks. Seeing the power from both sides, but mostly from the right side. Wouldn't be a bad time to get one of those streaks right now.
Some home runs in some big spots last year. SEC play. Think back to that series against Mississippi State. It's one of the big ones on this field in 2021. Three-one pitch. Takes a strike. Drew Beam trying to face only 9 hitters through the first 3 innings. Now we'll throw a payoff to Vanderbilt's Carter Young. Strike 3, and that's all for the Commodores in the third. Drew Gilbert to lead things off here in the fourth. Patrick Riley, a great job for Vanderbilt in the third to strand 2 men in scoring position. For Tennessee had runners at second and third with 1 out. No ball, 2-strike count to Gilbert, who bounced out to first in his first at bat, 0 for 1.
You see the Army green uniforms the Commodores wear with the American flag logos. Tim Corbin instituted that, I think it was back in about 2009, 2010. Jerseys have taken on a new life. It used to just be one jersey that was, I think it was blue and then some white pants, but the Army green have definitely been around for 3 or 4 years. And Tim Corbin, very, very much emphasis on honoring service members and honoring America.
High fly ball, deep right field. Tennessee may have the first run of this game, and they do on a towering home run off the bat of Drew Gilbert. Saw Spencer Jones give that one a look way out of reach, and Tennessee does what they do, and that's hit the long ball. 1-0 Volunteers.
Yeah, that was a no-doubter. Holy cow. Right off the bat. It had the distance and the height.
It had both.
That was just a fastball right down the middle. Missed his spot, supposed to be outside, ran over the middle of the plate. Had some hang time. Not a great effort on the catch in the outfield.
No, you got to make a play on that ball. I mean, it's not like a line drive. Oh, for Gilbert, home run number 3, RBI 28. Tennessee leads everybody in that department. It's home run number 69 on the season for this Volunteer team. Trey Lipscomb 0 for 1, a strikeout his first time up. The team leader with 11 bombs on the season. Pops this one up, should be a play, middle of the infield. Casas calls and catches a step in foul territory, 1 out. It'll be Evan Russell who walked his first time up. It's been interesting as far as the Vanderbilt pitching against the Tennessee hitters. Vanderbilt had been the best in the SEC in not giving up home runs, and Tennessee, of course, leading everybody in hitting the long ball this year. $171 home runs in 68 games sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
Ball and a strike here to the Volunteer catcher, Evan Russell.
And you can make a lot of arguments. I mean, Lindsey Nelson Field in Knoxville is not a huge park, but I mean, you saw what they did at Ole Miss last weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of long balls there, so I don't think the field has a ton to do with it. Guys just swing the bat well.
Yeah, I might help him a little bit, but a lot of power in those bats. Coach Tony Vitello. 1-2 in the dirt, 2-2. And Vanderbilt played over in Knoxville last season and won 2 out of 3, including a Sunday victory. Boy, every fly ball in that ballpark just feels like an adventure. You really almost have to train yourself to think a different way on balls in the air. 2-2 pitch. Runs it full. Tennessee striking first here in the fourth. Ranked number 1 with only 1 defeat on the season. Fastball in on the hands, pulled to the dugout. Payoff from Riley. Did he go? Held up, says the first base umpire, Brian Hale. A 1-out base runner as Russell reaches for the second time on a second walk. Well, Jorel Ortega flied out to right in his first at bat. See there are 3 walks to go with 2 strikeouts for Riley today. Tennessee with 2 hits, but one of them has left the yard. That was a home run by Drew Gilbert to start this 4th inning. Commodores wouldn't mind a double play ball. Drop the fastball to Ortega for strike 1.
Yeah, Riley's definitely the guy to get that ground ball. I mentioned before, he's got the good fastball, got a good sink on it. So guys take a swing at it, and by the time that barrel gets to the ball, it's just a little bit underneath the barrel, so get a lot of balls just kind of batted straight into the turf.
Runner bluffs going. Keegan comes up ready to throw. You see pitcher and catcher examining that wristband. I got to think it's been an interesting progression for Dominic Keegan behind the plate, a guy who came in as a catcher. I know we've talked about it before, but now really the full-time catcher, right. And feels like he's done a nice job, especially as this season's gone along.
Yeah, he's had to been patient behind the plate. Played a lot of first base last year. And then said, Dom, you're going to be catching a lot of games back there, so get those legs ready. I do think he's improved a lot since his first day this season, especially blocking balls and receiving.
Fly ball left field for Vaz. Short of the warning track makes the play. Russell retreats to first, and now 2 outs with Ortega retired. Christian Scott walked to lead off last inning, but then was stranded at third when Riley left runners in scoring position, getting a strikeout and a bounce out to first. See 66 pitches through 3 2/3 innings for Riley today, making the start in Game 3. Left-handed batting left fielder. Scott making his 6th start of the year. He's appeared now in 23 games. High for a ball. Mentioned this is Scott's first start of this series. 1 for 5 last weekend against Ole Miss when Tennessee got the sweep. Just up the road, Rossview High School in Clarksville.
You look on the roster sheet, there's a number of guys that are in the mid-state or just outside the mid-state. So a lot of these guys have played ball with each other. Vandy looked at a lot of these guys for recruiting purposes, and in Tennessee, with the seasons they've put together the past couple of years, I mean, definitely competing with Vandy for mid-state recruits.
Riley from New Jersey trying to get another strike and leave a man on first. Stranded runners in each of the last 2 innings 1-2 pitch. Runner goes downstairs for ball 2. Keegan double clutched. Runner slid almost past the base. Russell did, but able to hang on. He has a stolen base. Meanwhile, a 2-2 count to Scott.
Hey, Keegan looked like wasn't able to get a good feel for this ball. Kind of has to go back in the glove. It did look like Russell got a good jump and kind of went first move on Riley. So I don't know if a clean transfer would have gotten too much of a difference.
Well, that breaking pitch hit Scott. So the inning's going to continue for Cortland Lawson with 2 aboard. For Tennessee, stolen base number 47 on 58 attempts.
It just looked like a slider that got away from Riley. It looks like he was trying to come back door on that thing, but went front door actually.
Here is Lawson. Base hit to center his first time up. Tennessee has already put a run on the board, trying to add some more with 2 outs, 1-1 on a big swing by Lawson. Who has started 27 up there, 28 games. Riley throwing 2 pitches past him, 1-2. Six home runs for Lawson on the season. Riley trying to strand 2 more. Do it again on 1-2.
Yeah, threw a couple past Lawson and tried to throw another one past him at 95, but Lawson able to get a little piece of it. We'll see if he sticks with the hard stuff or tries to get him to chase.
Pulled over to third is Diaz. Foot race to the base. It's close. He's out. Decided to go this. And Spencer Jones. Bradfield flied out to left his first time up. All-American from last season takes a strike. Let's go back to that final out of the top of this inning. Here is Davis Diaz. A super close play at third base with Evan Russell diving into the bag. I was almost surprised there wasn't a review on that play.
I thought for sure they was going to take a second look at it, but I thought Diaz was just going to go across the diamond and get the out at first, but tried to get him at third and pretty close.
Bradfield, long drive, right center field. Track play made by Beck, 1 out. He hit one last night, came up short, leading off the 4th. 1 gone.
Yeah, put a pretty good charge into it, but just not enough. Not a lot of wind here today.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of very windy and breezy conditions throughout the season, but pretty tame today. We talked about Davis Diaz on that play at third base. Here he is with 1 out in the 4th. Called out on strikes his first time up against Beam and takes a strike here. Oh, slider for a strike. And Beam jumps in front quickly. Diaz now. Jones coming up next. The Commodore 4th, trailing by a run. Trying to salvage a win out of this weekend series after Tennessee took the first 2 to run their win streak to a school record 18. Vanderbilt had its own 18-game win streak. Stopped last weekend over at South Carolina. 2 to Diaz. Poke to the right side. A play for Lipsius. Momentum takes him toward the base. 2 gone.
Yeah, Beam just done a good job keeping the ball low, getting some miss hits. I mean, not a lot of balls been squared up today. Just kind of just been going about his daily business. Only 49 pitches here in the fourth.
One hit allowed. That was an infield single by Dominic Keegan. Pulled by Jones. Foul to the Tennessee dugout. Jones, hard hit back up the middle, has Vanderbilt's second knock of the day. A 2-out single in the fourth.
I saw the long ball from Jones last night, but more than anything, that's exactly what Jones does all the time. Just hits the ball right up the middle or off to the opposite field. Has good, quick hands. Very unorthodox for his size.
Yep.
Kind of plays like a leadoff guy sometimes with his short swing. He can run as well.
Yeah, you see him, you think he'd just be a big power hitting first baseman outfielder, but he's really a line drive hitter. And speaking of line drive hitters, here's Dominic Keegan. Hit a ball back in the hole at short that Lawson made a play on, but Keegan was able to beat it out for a hit to begin the second. Jones really a short lead at first, draws a throw. Talking to Tim Corbin about Spencer back earlier in the week. They really impressed him was his work in the outfield and how much ground he can cover with a minimum of strides. So we wonder if he's going full speed and seems to get to everything just fine.
We saw him rob a home run a couple weeks ago, and all he had to do is go to the fence and kind of stick his glove up there. He didn't jump. Anybody else, it would have been an unbelievable play, but we were kind of like, oh, he's nice, easy out there.
He just kind of reached up over the wall and made the play.
Yeah, definitely moves really well for his size.
If Commodores can do some damage with 2 outs. Jones bluffs going as Keegan rolls into short. They take the short way, 6-4, and that's all for Vanderbilt in the fourth inning. Tennessee 1, Vanderbilt nothing. Commodores with a base hit and 1 left in the fourth. Volunteers by a run as we go to the fifth. Top 10 matchup in Nashville. Tennessee, the only run so far, then on a Drew Gilbert home run in the fourth. Each team with 2 hits. Patrick Riley's been able to get out of some difficulty for Vanderbilt. Drew Beam has faced only 13 batters through 4 innings. That due to the 2-out single in the bottom half of the fourth.
Yeah, Kevin, this is not what we usually see on a Sunday. This is more kind of like a Friday night game. 2 pitchers going at it.
We talked about, I think, for Vanderbilt, just want to see a cleaner game and give yourself a chance to get out of this series with a victory of some sort in this Sunday afternoon. Tony Vitello's team, #1 in the country, and with good reason. They have been super impressive in their first 27 games, going 26-1, trying to make it a perfect 9-0 through the first 3 weeks of SEC play. Those are hard things to accomplish. Getting to Omaha last year, both these teams were there. Vanderbilt made it to the final series. Tennessee was there for 2 games. Here's Christian Moore. 0 for 2 with a pair of bounce outs on the day. One ball, 1 strike count, and Moore swings through that one. The breaking pitch, 1-2. But I think just that experience of getting to Omaha for the first time, at least under this coaching staff, probably you got to think it serves this program well for Tennessee. You know you can do it, and then you try to build on that. Swung on and missed. Riley, a good start to the fifth as he fans Moore.
A nice slider up in the zone. Start to the top. It's right bound underneath the bat there. But yeah, I totally agree with you, Kevin. I mean, you look at this Vanderbilt program. And before Tim Corbin got here in 2003, he really struggled to really have any type of success. And when Tim Corbin got here, he was able to just kind of build on each experience. And then it wasn't until guys were able to, have some success in the SEC tournament and then finally get a super regional. We'll take a look at the play here.
Got
Nice
past
job.
Casas. Yeah, there's Vastine. And salute to Riley getting over there and covering the base.
Yeah, but it wasn't until that first team got into the super regional against Texas that, I guess that was, early 2000s, that the guys really thought, hey, this is an opportunity for us. And then took them a while to get back to the regional and then super regional in 2010 and then in World Series in 2011. Didn't win it in 2011. But just having those experiences of, hey, we can get here. This is what it takes to get here. And then once the program gets there, those older guys that have had those experiences, they kind of instill that culture into some of the younger guys, and then you get some really good talent because of those experiences, and then it just kind of snowballs into your perennial powerhouse every single year. And so I think Tony Vitello is really building on that. Some unbelievable performances last year and a great start here in 2022.
You always say winning brings more winning. College sports. This Vanderbilt program's been a national power for more than a decade. 2-1 pitch here. Inside to Beck with 2 outs. Well, there was the old ballpark that was here on this site. These days, Hawkins Field looks much different. Well, downstairs, ball 4 to Beck, so he draws a 2-out walk. Well, they redid this place and made it into what it is now.
Yeah, had a chain link fence, had some sad stands back there. But
it's like back when your dad played, right?
Yep. Check out those Unis.
The old Pittsburgh Pirates look from the 70s. Well, a couple things that look familiar around here. You recognize some of the buildings. Gilbert has provided the only run of this game for either team. That was a leadoff home run in the 4th. He had a moonshot to right field that landed about 7 rows up in the stands for his 3rd home run. A very fat batting average. And today, a packed house on a beautiful Sunday. Watch these in-state rivals. The black and gold and the orange and white face off. It doesn't matter the sport. Everybody gets fired up around these parts. There's a check swing and a strike. 1-1.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago that Commodores redid their player development facilities, locker rooms, batting cages. It's pretty unbelievable back there. This year, they took a little bit of a different approach and put some money into the fan experience. New seats. Big fan of the new seats, I will say.
I was going to say.
Big fan. Kind of mesh. They're very cool on a hot day. Very comfortable. 100% approved by Andrew.
A little higher back on him too, right? Only needs a headrest. Do they recline?
I didn't see a button. I mean, there might be a button somewhere. I don't know.
Ball and 2 strikes here to Gilbert. And they, just in the last couple weeks, have installed them all the way around the infield. They had most of them done when the season started, but now it's mesh seats from foul line to foul line. Upgraded things in the outfield as well. Riley sees this one fouled off on 1-2. Cleanup man in this Tennessee batting order. Left-handed batting center fielder.
I remember it was a big deal for Hawkins Field to get the Jumbotron.
Yep.
I mean, for the longest time, not a lot of teams had Jumbotrons, and it was only kind of the the LSUs, South Carolinas of the world that had them. And I feel like once we got that, man, Vandy has made it. They got the Jumbotron now.
can show our highlights up there. 1-2 count to Gilbert, 2-2. It used to be the scoreboard on top of the big wall on left. I mean, it is very full all the way around today. People standing on the walkways. A park that holds just short of 4,000. 2-2 to Gilbert. Let's see another pitch.
Yeah, the hard thing about Hawkins Field is just there's so much limited space. You've got the football stadium down the left field line. You've got a road down the right field line. And you've got buildings and you've got Memorial Gym in the outfield. So there's not really many other places you can go to put people. Kind of squeeze them in every place that you can.
Beck leads from first, 2-2. Riley, close pitch, ball 3.
I do know with the new football stadium renovations, there is some potential opportunity for some sort of hybrid baseball, football.
Maybe a little crossover.
But all that construction and about a year or two away.
Including the new Ingram Harris broadcast suite. Payoff, runner goes, popped up. Let's see if it stays in play. Not much foul territory in this ballpark. It's Diaz feeling for the railing, couldn't get to it. Riley to Gilbert, payoff number 2. Pulled to the right side here and foul. Rolled it over to the Tennessee dugout. You see that pitch count starting to climb up toward 100. Riley has stranded 5 base runners through the first 4 innings, but allowed only 1 run. Got out of a big mess in the 3rd. Beck will go again from first. Another payoff, strike 3. Riley wins the battle here. He sits down Gilbert with his 4th strikeout of the day. Halfway done in game 3. Tennessee 1, Vanderbilt nothing. Vanderbilt hasn't really been able to chase any of Tennessee's pitchers in this series. He chased Burns on Friday. Chase Dollander was terrific last night. Drew Beam today, 4 shutout innings, has faced only 13 hitters through the first 4. And well, Andrew, you get starting pitching like that, it gives you lots of options with your bullpen. They have some good arms down there too.
Yeah, I mean, starting pitching has been really, really good. Burns, Dollander, and Beam has been really good today as well. We haven't even seen some of their best arms out of the bullpen yet. And if Beam continues to throw like he does, I don't know if we will.
I don't know if we will or not, I know. Frank Anderson is their pitching coach. He's got this group throwing the ball well. They also have been able to get Blake Tidwell, who's been one of their starters, back over just the last few days. Gavin Casas to begin the Vanderbilt 5th. Reached on a fielder's choice back in the 2nd, his first time up. The middle innings have been good for Vanderbilt this season. Let's see if they can get something done here. Fly ball down the left field line, but a play made as Scott went over. Rolls into foul territory after making a really nice catch. 1 out.
I thought the thing was going to drop. Scott was playing a good bit in left center. Comes all the way over. Makes a nice play right there on the left field line. As you mentioned, Kevin, I mean, there's no room over there. So if you're going to dive for that thing, you better be ready to slide right in the wall. And it's not like you can catch it and have any room to slow down running. So if you're going to lay out, kind of got to put your body on the line.
Jack Bulger heading into a double play his first time up. Shoots this one out to center. A lazy fly ball for Gilbert. 2 quick outs for Drew Beam here in the 5th. Vanderbilt not making him work a whole lot. Now 2 gone in the 5th, and Javier Vaz coming up. Well, Vaz fouled off a few his first time up, but then bounced out to short 0 for 1. Breaking pitch for a strike. Play here in the 5th. Tennessee 1, Vanderbilt nothing. Top 10 matchup. Volunteers won the first 2. Slowly to the right side. It's a foul ball.
Like got in on the hands.
And in on the toe.
And in on the toe. Yeah, Beam just making quick work. These Vandy hitters.
Vaz able to hold up on a pitch down and in 1 and 2. Got 2 quick outs and 2 quick strikes.
Yeah, Beam just he doesn't waste a lot of time attacking the zone with the fastball here in the 5th inning. See 59 pitches.
Well, a local guy from this area, from down in Murfreesboro, played at Blackman High School. A top 10 player in the state, also a quarterback on the football team. Same alma mater as one David Price. Played for the Blackman Blaze back in the day. In on the hands. Remains 2 and 2.
I believe Xander Wheel as well.
Yeah.
A number of guys. There's just so much talent here in the mid-state. Look at the Little League World Series a lot. Guys from Middle Tennessee.
Another foul ball by Vaz. You know what Blackman High School's football field is called?
I do not.
The Inferno. Home of the Blaze. Two and 2 to Vaz. Hot fastball at 94, fouled off. Stays 2 and 2. Beam came in second in the SEC in ERA. First in opponent batting average and third in wins. He was SEC co-freshman of the week after the opening weekend of conference play. And gotten even better from there. Pitch inside to run it full to Vaz. Commodores trying to come up with a 2-out base runner in the 5th, trailing by a run. Payoff to Vaz. Left center field. Will it get down? Nope. Hangs up long enough for Gilbert to run under it. 3 up, 3 down for Vanderbilt in the 5th. Tennessee leading 1-0 as we move on to the 6th. Well, for Vanderbilt, Patrick Riley, 5 quality innings. Some good work out of number 88. Allowing only a solo home run by Tennessee's Drew Gilbert. He struck out 4 and made some big pitches get out of trouble. Left 2 in scoring position in the 3rd and able to leave another couple on base in the 4th and 1 more in the 5th, and his day is done. Just short of 100 pitches for Riley. So a very impressive start for Riley. Gives way to Christian Little, sophomore from St. Louis. You see his season numbers. Did not pitch last weekend against South Carolina. See his last outing. That was against Missouri 2 weekends ago, through 2 good innings with 4 strikeouts. Now will be asked to keep this game where it is against this potent Tennessee lineup, starting with Trey Lipscomb here in the 6th.
And 97 on the gun. Whew. Came out pumping. Little has a lot of tools. A lot of pitches. Got a good fastball, you just saw there. Got a little cutter. Good breaking ball, good changeup.
Came back with another fastball, 97 again, 0-2. Goodness.
Exact same spot. A couple of swings there from Lipscomb. See if he comes right back to it.
2 fastballs. 3 fastballs and 3 strikes.
In the exact same spot, outside corner. It even looked like Little was kind of shaking off the sign. Said, no, I want that fastball again. Came right back to it.
Can you shake off a digital armband?
I don't know. Apparently so, because it looked like he shook him off, and then Keegan was having some pitches down and was calling him with his fingers.
Evan Russell walked in his 2 times against Patrick Riley. Takes a strike. Little finally misses 1-1. A steady diet of fastballs.
Yeah, it's 5 straight fastballs, all in the outside corner, and all of them 97. That one is just a little bit too far out.
Popped a mile high on the infield. It's Casas, the first baseman, making the play. 2 outs.
And that was the cutter. A 91-mile-an-hour cutter. Holy cow. But gives it just enough, and quick second out there.
Terrell Ortega is 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts. 1 to right and 1 to left. Tennessee second baseman. You look up and down this batting order. Everybody, with the exception of Drew Gilbert, has 4 home runs, and Gilbert has left the yard today. Ortega swinging first pitch. It's key for any pitcher, but it feels like it's really key for Christian Little to come out and get ahead of the hitters. That's what he's been able to do right here.
Yeah, if he gets in a rhythm, he is tough to hit.
Trying to sit down Tennessee 1-2-3, which has been hard to do for Vanderbilt today. A pitch away from getting it done. Little ready, Ortega's ready. Try to hit the outside corner.
I think at this point, everybody in the entire stadium knows a fastball's coming. And he is gearing up and just trying to throw it by him.
That was really close. Two and two to Ortega. Christian Scott would bat if Ortega can keep the inning going for Tennessee. Vanderbilt has only had 1 clean inning today, and that was the first when Riley got 3 bounce outs. A run in the 4th on a home run, and that has been it. Little's 2-2. Back to the mound. Little flips to first. 3 up, 3 down. As Andrew described, he just gets into a good rhythm. He's back up and ready to throw. Fouled at the plate. Vanderbilt has basically had only 2 base runners today. An infield hit by Keegan in the 2nd and a 2-out single by Spencer Jones in the 4th. See the situational hitting. Not really a whole lot for either team. Pitch inside.
Yeah, but if Vandy's going to do it, this is kind of the time when they've done it all season. Coming into the series and outscoring opponents 85-31 across the 4th, 5th, and 6th inning. So middle of the game is kind of when Vandy bats start to come alive.
Yeah, they have done a good job the second time or so through the batting order throughout this season. Tennessee has done some damage, though, in the 5th inning in this series. Thought out of play as we play here in the bottom half of the 6th. Yeah, Andrew, to build on what you're talking about, Vanderbilt only allowed 9 runs in the 5th entering Friday's play, and Tennessee has scored 6 in that frame the first 2 games of the series. 1-2 pitch. Young out on strikes again. Foul tipped into the mitt. 2 gone and back to the top for Enrique Bradfield.
A good look at the breaking the ball there from Beam. We haven't really seen too much of the off speed from Beam. He's really just relied a lot on the fastball, and as I mentioned before, guys just putting it in play, but he does have that good breaking ball that time goes underneath the hands of Carter Young. He also has a really good changeup that we hadn't seen much either. But when that fastball is working, stick with it.
Enrique Bradfield, a quiet day, 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts. like to just see this guy get on base and has the capability of stealing his way into scoring position, as we saw back on Friday. 2-1.
Yeah, you got to think if Andy's going to score some runs, it's going to start at the catalyst at the top in Bradfield.
Down the left field line, but foul to make it 2-2.
And for Riley to have 5 solid innings, and Christian Little went out and had an unbelievable top of the 6th, came back in the dugout fired up. You got to, as an offense, got to give him a little run support, give him something to work with.
Yeah, just haven't been able to get that momentum and keep it in your dugout today.
Well, that's SEC baseball, and that's a typical Sunday game as well.
Liner at the shortstop. Lawson ranges to his right to make the catch. Bradfield hit it hard. That's all for Vanderbilt in the 6th. Another clean frame turned in by Drew Beam. He's been outstanding. 1-0 Tennessee. Fifth-year coach Tony Vitello has done a terrific job for Tennessee, the St. Louis native. You see what this team has done in terms of sweeps. Trying to record number 6 this Sunday afternoon in Nashville. Already matched last season's total as they enter today with an 18-game win streak and leading 1-0 as we move into the late innings. This series finale, Christian Little will face 8-9-1. Christian Scott to start off the Tennessee 7th. Been on base twice. Down the right field line. That will get down for a base hit. Spencer Jones over to get it quickly and hold Scott to a leadoff single.
Looked like that ball was hung up a little bit too much. Able to snake it right in the right field. But yeah, Kevin, you mentioned the number of sweeps. Especially this year, I mean, for Tennessee to go back to last week and go down to Oxford and do what they did down there is super impressive. And working on a potential sweep here in Nashville, very impressive past couple of weekends.
Yeah, you'd be hard pressed to see 2 back-to-back road sweeps as impressive as those 2. That's a hard place to go win at Ole Miss against a terrific team they have there. And Tennessee has had the upper hand in the first 2 games of this series. 6-2 Friday, 5-2 last night, and 1-0 today as Christian Little pitches out of the stretch for the first time. A throw over to get Scott back. 2 out of 3 in steal attempts. Cortland Lawson is the hitter. Owner of one of the 3 hits today for Tennessee. The one that left the yard in the 4th has been the big one, the home run by Drew Gilbert. Lawson squares early. 2 balls and no strikes. Vanderbilt had Nelson Berkwich and Grayson Moore warming the last inning or so. For Vanderbilt, you got to hold them where they are here in the 7th. Little needs a strike, bunted foul, 2-1.
And if Lawson's going to square around, if you're Little, he's going to throw straight at the bat. Just take the out. I know you're going to have a runner on second base, but at least you still are able to give up that out. And with the stuff that you have, you feel like you can get another out and get a quick 2. Definitely got to make sure that they put the ball in play.
Bunted foul again to make it 2-2. Have fun trying to bunt the cutter there.
Yeah.
What it looked like.
Yeah, bunting anything off speed or something that moves is pretty difficult. And sometimes you might throw a breaking ball up there and you might even get a pop-up. But with 2 strikes, you're probably going to go to work here and swing in the bat.
2-2 to Lawson after a couple failed bunt attempts. Little retires him on a breaking pitch for a big first out with that runner still at first.
Yeah, big strikeout right there. And Lawson wasn't able to get the bunt down for the first 2. And looked like a nice breaking ball in the outside corner. Now he's just one ground ball away from getting out of the inning.
Well, the leadoff man Christian Moore is the hitter. He's 0 for 3. All against Patrick Riley, who turned in 5 innings of 1-run ball today. Now the second strikeout for Little. Oh, another throw bounced over there. Cost us a good job with the backhand. Little retired Tennessean order in the 6th for Vanderbilt's first clean frame since the first inning. Oh, that's a nice looking breaking pitch right there, but just missed outside. Take another look.
Didn't look too bad.
I guess it was low. Oh.
Yeah, if anything, I thought I might have crossed the plate in the strike zone, but regardless, still 1-0.
Popped up, right field. Jones went back, now comes in. A long run, he got there. Scott gets back to first. Spencer Jones broke back, but then came in to make the play. We talked about his ability to cover ground and showed it right there.
Yeah, he was already playing pretty deep. He goes back towards the pole and realizes, uh-oh, got to come in. And turns on the burners and gets it right there on the foul line.
Luke Lipsius 0 for 3. Pair of ground outs to the right side, sandwiched around a 3rd inning strikeout. You talk about guys in the Tennessee transition into national contender. This guy's been a big part of it. He's been in this program for a long time. Right around 180 career games.
Yeah, for your team to have success, you do need some of those older guys. Guys who have had those experiences in Omaha and other games.
Little delivers a strike. The runner left going, and Scott goes back to first. And home run on Friday for Lipsius with the 28th of his career. Top 10 in Tennessee history. 2 outs in the 7th. Little trying to strand a base runner. Runner goes. Keegan's throw is not in time. Second stolen base of the day for Tennessee. This time it's Christian Scott. It's a tough pitch to throw on for Keegan behind the plate.
Yeah, it looked like Scott got a pretty good jump as well. Ball outside the zone. And threw it down, but way too late. Tennessee has gotten really good jumps off of a lot of these different pitchers, on Riley as well.
Line drive center field. Here comes Bradfield. Ball's going to get down. Runner will come in from third. So that stolen base was really big for Tennessee as they add a gigantic insurance run with a 2-out single by Lipsius.
Yeah, hit it right on the head there, Kevin. If Scott stays at first base, I mean, that's first and third right there with 2 outs regardless. Gets the stolen base and then ball right in front of Bradfield. I thought he was potentially going to try and lay out for that, but looked like he wasn't able to. That's an easy score there for Scott.
So the first hit of the day for any of the top 3 spots in the Tennessee batting order, a run-scoring single by Luke Lipsius. His 18th RBI makes it 2-0 Tennessee. Lipsius goes in the first pitch. Fly ball to left off the bat of Beck. Vaz.
And Beam there with his 80th pitch. If you're Vandy, you got to find a way to either get on base or get Beam out of there.
Diaz, fly ball to right. Beck comes in to make the catch.
And it's a tough situation because you want him to throw more pitches and you want to try and work the count, but if you start taking too many pitches, I mean, you're down 0-2 quickly. So you got a guy like Beam who's really filling up the zone. It's tough to lay off a couple of those pitches early in the count, but you do swing at those, and then you get some quick outs. So it's kind of a catch-22.
Here is Spencer Jones, owner of one of Vanderbilt's 2 hits on the day. A single by Jones in the 4th, infield hit by Keegan in the 2nd, and that has been it. And bad news for Vanderbilt is Beam's been outstanding, but Tennessee pretty much locked and loaded in that bullpen too. They have a variety of people available as Jones again doesn't get a pitch down and in.
Yeah, it's 2 on the slider there that Jones has swung way over. If you're Beam, you might come right back with that exact same pitch. He did. It was just off the outside corner this time.
Sure did.
Tried to come back door. A little bit out.
.371 average for Jones. 2-2. Seen all breaking stuff in this at bat.
After the game yesterday, Coach Vitello said, I think he referred to Jones as that monster they have in the 3-hole.
Count runs full. Jones fell behind 0-2.
Definitely a guy you got to be careful with, especially with 2 strikes.
Payoff. Back up the middle, but Lawson up to the challenge. Throws out Jones, 2 gone.
I feel like that's the most Beams had to work all game. Finally got a 3-2 count on him.
87 pitches with 2 outs in the 7th. The Dominic Keegan. 1 for 2 day for the Commodore catcher. Just feels like that run in the top half of this inning was so important. Tennessee with a stolen base and a 2-out single. 1-run game, late innings. A solo shot can get you back even. Keegan pops this one up. It's going to be another easy inning for Beam as Gilbert makes the play, and we move on to the 8th. Well, this Tennessee team ranked number 1 with good reason. They are terrific at the plate and on the mound. They have showed it in both categories throughout the weekend here. Talked about it earlier. They have not trailed in a game since the middle of March as Drew Gilbert takes a strike, 0-2. A solo home run to start the 4th. Got Tennessee on the board. So there are 2 at-bats, a bounce out to first and a strikeout. All of that against Patrick Riley, the starter, who was really good for 5 innings. We saw a moment ago. One, 2 from Schultz. Popped up behind the plate. Just over the screen. Great crowds throughout the weekend. Great weather today. A little cool, but not bad at all. Fans in black and gold just probably feel like they haven't had a ton to cheer about this weekend. Two and two. You got a couple of bats left. Try to keep it a 2-0 game. Pulled over to first. Casas done a good job at first base today. Takes it himself, 1 out.
He's handled a couple of hard hit balls over there, but blocked him up.
Third baseman, number 21, Trey Lipscomb.
Trey Lipscomb now. He's had some big swings in this series, but Vanderbilt has been able to keep him quiet so far today. 0 for 3. Leads the team with 11 home runs and 48 RBIs.
We were talking earlier about Pat Riley, who started the game, and pitching coach Scott Brown mentioning, wasn't really sure where he was going to fit. Was kind of a piggyback guy and has moved himself into a starting role. Very similar to Schultz here. Scott Brown thought maybe use him as a piggyback guy, potentially close out some games, but as they put him in there in that closing position, he really has solidified himself in there. And I think they just like the energy and the attitude he has up there. He pumps a lot of strikes and really comes at these hitters.
0-2 back up the middle. Lipscomb has his first hit of the day. And the 5th for Tennessee with a 1-out single.
It looked like he took a little bit off the fastball there. It was about 90. Nice job by Lipscomb just putting him right back up the middle. If you're Tennessee, just continue to try and tack it on. I feel like every single run is a little bit more wind out of the sails of Vandy, just because runs have definitely been coming at a premium.
Edmund Russell 0 for 1, a pair of walks. Commodores 5th in the SEC, having turned 17 double plays entering today's game. And 18th would be really nice for the folks in that third base dugout. Downstairs, 2-0. This much anticipated series. Everybody's, it's early April. A lot of people pointing toward this one. Both around this area and nationally, both these teams ranked in the top 10. Tennessee moving up to number 1 after the sweep of Ole Miss last weekend.
This has been a fun series to watch. For the longest time, Vandy, pre-Tim Corbin, just did not have a great team. But Tennessee, historically, a very good program, and whenever they get together, it just wasn't a great game. Most recently, Vandy has had a really good team, and Tennessee hasn't been where they've wanted to be. And for the first time in the past couple of years, both teams are very, very high level. And so a lot of excitement, especially in the state, with knowing how these fan bases are towards each other.
This second straight year, they've both been ranked in the top 10 as they faced off in April. Series last year was a couple weeks later in the SEC schedule. Schultz, the payoff. Russell waits. Didn't miss by a whole lot. Inside, he held up. 2 base runners for Ortega with 1 out in the 8th.
Number 2, Jorel Ortega.
See 5 walks today for Vandy pitching, and in a game where hits are definitely a premium and base runners are a premium. You can't give it many freebies.
Vanderbilt had recorded 27 strikeouts through the first 2 games. 6 strikeouts of Tennessee today, but as Andrew said, those 5 walks. You can't give a team with this kind of offense those types of opportunities, as Ortega looks at ball 1, and Scott Brown will come out of the third base dugout to try to settle things down a little bit with Thomas Schultz. He got Gilbert on a bounce out to first. Lipscomb a single, and then a walk to Russell on a 3-2 pitch.
A nice visit here by Scott Brown. Looked like Schultz kind of speeding up a little bit. They're struggling to find the zone. Probably just reminding him, hey, you get a ground ball here, you're out of this thing. Easy ground ball double play. So a quick little visit. Give him a little pep talk and hop back in there.
He's one of the best there is, Scott Brown. Developed so many good arms in this Vanderbilt program over the last decade. Hoping number 66 can keep this a 2-0 game. 1-0 pitch to Ortega. Line drive left field. That's not going to help. Will bring in a run as Lipscomb turns third and comes to the plate. Ortega, a 1-out RBI single to make it 3-0 Tennessee. Russell goes first to third. Ortega's first hit of the game.
A nice swing. It looked like that was a cutter inside. Put a really good swing of it right over the head of Young. And Tennessee able to just continue to attack a little bit more on here late in the game.
Those insurance runs to make the job more difficult for Vanderbilt. Here's Christian Scott. On base all 3 times. A walk in the third, hit by a pitch in the fourth, and a single and scored a run last inning.
Rush on first and third and down the order. Definitely got to keep your head on a swivel for a possible safety squeeze here. See a couple signs here from Tennessee. But when guys 1 through 9 swing the bat like they do, most likely just let them swing away.
There's the bunt. You called it. Catch made by the pitcher Schultz. He throws to Casas, and they get a big double play to get out of the inning. Well, Andrew, you set it up correctly, and Tennessee bunts into a double play.
Yeah, it looked like they tried to lay it down. But pops up. Schultz lays out, gets him going. Commodore's coming to bat, trying to do some damage here.
Now 3-0 in the 8th in Nashville. Tennessee a pair of big insurance runs in the 7th and again in the 8th. RBI singles by Luke Lipsius and Jarrell Ortega to make it a 3-0 game after the solo home run by Drew Gilbert back in the 4th. Vanderbilt has managed only 2 hits against Drew Beam, who has been excellent through 7 innings so far. Commodores have not had a base runner since a 2-out single by Spencer Jones in the 4th inning. Sat down 10 straight. Gavin Casas will start off a Vanderbilt 8th. Commodores running out of outs and trying to stave off a sweep.
And if you're Vandy, you look and you think, dang, I mean, you got 3 runs to go, but you got to break it down. Break it down to how do you get those runs? You got to get base runners, so just got to get the first guy on and kind of take it from there.
Vanderbilt has had the leadoff man on only once today. That was Dominic Keegan on an infield hit in the 2nd. You look at that breakdown for Drew Beam. 59 of his 91 pitches have been strikes. Just a lot of short at bats too. Where Vanderbilt's put the first or second pitch in play, and Tennessee's fielders have done the rest.
Yeah, Vandy's definitely helped them out too. I mean, they haven't worked a ton of counts. Ball's been in there. They've been taking swings at it, but just hadn't been able to barrel it up or get hits out of it. Just kind of been right at people, or just and hasn't been strong contact.
Well, Casas pops this one up on the left side. It's Lawson in short left to make the catch. The first out of the 8th on a pop out by the Commodore first baseman. Jack Bulger hit into a double play in the 2nd and flied out to center in the 5th, looking for his first hit of the game. And first of the series as well. Beam lands that breaking pitch for a strike. To the right side. Ortega ranges over to throw out Bulger. 2 gone.
Another 2 pitches. Yeah. And when you're Beam and you're landing all your pitches for strikes, just find a way to put the ball in play. Commodores have been, but right at people. See, ties a career high, 7 2/3. A heck of a day here for Drew Beam. I think he's got a number of family and friends here in town, being from just up the road in Murfreesboro.
If you come up I-24, you're probably stuck in traffic a while trying to get here. Here's Spaz. Roller out to short. A quick and easy 8th inning for Drew Beam. Lawson, the shortstop, to start it off. 1 for 3, a single back in the 3rd. That was against the starter Patrick Riley, who threw 5 innings of 1-run ball. He was able to strand 6 base runners. Tennessee only reaching him for the solo home run by Drew Gilbert. The Volunteers adding big insurance runs in the 7th and again in the 8th. Lawson swinging 1-1. More limited work as a freshman when he made 5 appearances. Getting more time on the mound here in 2022. He fans Lawson on a good fastball to start off the 9th.
Yeah, 95 on the outside corner. Some pretty good run as well. Moore actually in high school, a big two-way player. Came to Vandy as a nation's 19th ranked outfielder. But focusing on pitching.
Liner to right field will get down for a 1-out single off the bat of Christian Moore. His first hit in 5 times up today. And Tim Corbin talking about how Moore made the decision last August to transition to only pitching.
Now batting, first baseman number 40, Luke Lipsius.
Luke Lipsius came up with a big hit back in the 7th. He was 0 for 3 going into that at bat, then brought home a run that made it 2-0. Bunts this when Diaz was playing way off the line, and Lipsius is going to have an infield hit.
That's what's going to happen. You play the shift. And you had 3 guys on the right side, and you have Diaz, third baseman, playing in the shortstop's position. Just punched it right there in the perfect spot.
Jordan Beck 0 for 3 with a walk. Tennessee with a 3-0 lead here in the 9th and threatening to add on some more with 1 out. Liner to left for Vaz. Makes the catch. Runners go back. Beck hit it hard, but right at Vaz. 2 gone for Drew Gilbert.
He squared that ball up pretty well. Nice job by Vaz. Usually that's the hardest ball to catch, is the one right at you, kind of right at your face. But 2 down here for one of the hotter hitters here in this Tennessee lineup.
Drew Gilbert having a monster season and had a roof scraper home run back in the 4th inning to get Tennessee on the board. Came out of his shoes on that first pitch.
Yeah, if you're hitting well over 400 and you've already got a home run today, that ball just looks like a beach ball coming up there. Got to be thinking he's seeing the ball pretty well.
.443 batting average, a 4-digit OPS, and take strike 2. You do the math on the OPS. On base of .566, slugging of .803.
Whew.
Moore trying to finish off this 9th inning. 0-2 pitch. Look ahead to the Vanderbilt 9th. You'll have 8, 9, and 1 coming up. Let's see if Tennessee decides to send Drew Beamack out to finish what he started. 1-2 for Moore.
Yeah, if you're Moore, you got to be careful with some of these pitches, especially with 2 strikes. I know he's trying to get the strike out and get him out, but don't want to get too cute with it and leave one over the plate.
Another 1-2 pitch. Socked down the right field line. That's going to get down for extra bases. Tennessee will add one more, make it two more. Runner coming to the plate, dives in safely as Lipsia scores from first. Volunteers blow this game open in the ninth. A 2 RBI double by Drew Gilbert to make it 5-0.
Yeah, it looked like Moore tried to come with the breaking ball, but just left it up in the zone, didn't get it where he needed it to go. And you got guys hitting 443. That's what's going to happen. Roped it right down the right field line, and Tennessee turns on the burners and puts two more on the board, make it 5-0.
3 RBIs for Gilbert today to give him 30 on the season. That job gets way more difficult for Vanderbilt now, trailing 5-0. Lipscomb hits this a mile high and foul down the left field line. Goodness. A long strike one. He's 1 for 4 on the day. Base hit, scored a run in the 8th. Tennessee has turned a 1-run game into a 5-0 advantage over the course of these late innings.
They've done a lot of it with 2 outs too.
Two balls, 1 strike to Lipscomb. Yeah, the run they scored in the 7th was with 2 outs. The 2-run double here with 2. Gone here in the 9th. Moore lands the slider to make it 2-2. Foul outside third as Diaz gives it a look.
Lipscomb had the home run foul. He's fouled off another couple foul to that left side. See if they try and go something away. It looked like they were trying to get him to chase with the breaking ball, but we're just not able to really land it. You saw the breaking ball was up in the zone to Gilbert, and that one looked like Dom Keegan was trying to call for that outside, but that one was left up too. Not a great feel for the slider right now.
Moore's payoff pitch. Ball 4. The inning will continue for Evan Russell. Three walks today for Russell, 0 for 1. The only time he was retired was on a pop-up in the 6th. Moore delivers a strike to Russell. Riley for the first 5. We saw Christian Little for the 6th and the 7th. Thomas Schultz pitched the 8th. Vanderbilt's been able to manage only 2 hits today against Tennessee right-hander Drew Beam. 0-2. Russell stays alive with a foul ball.
It looked like Moore has a good feel of the fastball and has a good location with it, but if he can't land the slider as a hitter, you know something hard's coming.
There's a fastball, just got a piece of it.
Yeah, Moore pumped that one up to about 94. See if they go back and trying to get him to chase something outside. It does look like Russell is on time with that that fastball.
Another 0-2 pitch. Strike 3. But Tennessee adds 2 big runs on 3 hits here in the ninth to lead 5-0. Drew Gilbert, 2 RBI double. Commodores last lick. Tony Vitello's Tennessee Vols ranked number 1 and 3 outs away from recording a sweep here in Nashville against Vanderbilt, leading 5-0, blowing this game open in the late innings. And that young man has been fantastic for Tennessee. 8 innings of 2-hit ball. He sent down 13 straight. The Murfreesboro native Drew Beam trying to finish the job here for Tennessee. Will face Jonathan Vastine, Carter Young, and Enrique Bradfield in the Vanderbilt ninth. He has made it look easy today. 1-1.
I feel like he's even gotten better as the game has gotten on. I mean, his fastball has dipped a little bit in miles per hour, but his accuracy is right there, and he's keeping the ball low, so he's getting a lot of guys swinging at the ball, but not really going anywhere.
Well, 5 shutouts for Tennessee pitching. Commodores have not been held off the scoreboard this season. Tennessee has also not recorded a complete game this year. Fly ball center field, chases Gilbert back a few steps to make the first out. So he grabs the fly ball off the bat of Vastine. 1 gone. Vanderbilt has not been swept in an SEC series since 2018 against Florida and against Auburn that season. This is Tennessee's first series win here in Nashville against Vanderbilt since 2009. Vanderbilt has managed only 4 runs in 3 games. Tennessee's pitching is Beam with 1 out in the ninth. 2-2 to Young. Fouls off another one to keep it 2-2. Tennessee has scored 5 runs, but really could have been a lot worse. They've stranded 10 base runners today. Patrick Riley did a great job keeping Vanderbilt close for 5 innings. Tennessee doing the damage against the Commodore bullpen as Young swings and misses, and the Commodores are down to their last out.
And beamed out that one up there, about 93, up in the zone. Carter Young just swung right through it. Young struggled seeing the ball today, hadn't had a lot of great at-bats. See, only 4 strikeouts there for Beam. But looking to go for a complete game shutout here. Really utilize that defense behind him.
Enrique Bradfield, the last hope for Vanderbilt, takes a strike. 0 for 3. 2 flyouts and a line out to shortstop, and his 3 times up today. One strike pitch to Enrique. Misses outside. You see the breakdown of outs. Just let his fielders do the work. Bradfield rolls it to the right side. Ortega to first. Tennessee wins.